One factoring into today's video, we're going to be thinking a bit about September today, having a look at what may be going on in the next month. September's usually a time when you get a lot of high pressure building in. It can often be, well, sort of a very quiet and tranquil transition from the summer to the autumn, and very often not a lot goes on, but I'm not sure that that's going to be quite the case for this September. There are signals from certainly the CFS model that it could be a more active month, really, quite unsettled, and the conditions that we've had previous August perhaps persisting at times anyway into September. We'll have a look at the CFS in a moment. Before I get on with that, I just want to mention the ads. There's video ads on my pages at gazloviz.com. If you hit play on the video ad, you'll be supporting gazloviz.com. Thanks very much for doing that. So we've got a pretty cool week coming up. Just have a look at the temperatures through this coming week. We're going to be below average throughout the week, really. Temperatures very cool today across Scotland, barely into double figures there for central parts of Scotland. That's indicating around 9 to 11 degrees. That's absolutely abysmal for the 18th of August. It's probably a bit over the top. It'll perhaps be a little bit warmer than that, but certainly not a warm day in the north by any means. It's going to be very cool, and most places coming out below average. Highest temperatures today maybe on the south coast, somewhere around 20 degrees. It's below where we should be most places, just in the low to mid to perhaps going on to the upper teens. So somewhere between around, say, 14 to 18 degrees will be the maximum many of us see. As we move through into Tuesday, it's going to be an even cooler day for Tuesday because we're going to bring a lot of cloud down from the north. There'll be showery bursts of rain in places as well. So temperatures, even on the south coast, struggling to get up to around 18 degrees. Elsewhere, we're just into the mid-teens. Those sort of temperatures that you're looking at there are more like the sort of temperatures you would expect at the end of September or the start of October. Very, very disappointing temperatures coming up on Tuesday. Could be a notably cool day for many parts of the country. Things recover a little bit as we go through into Wednesday, but it's still below average. But it's just that we probably bring more sunshine through on Wednesday. We'll lose the generally sort of leaden skies. So I think temperatures will lift up a bit for Tuesday, but only again up to a maximum of around 20 degrees on the south coast, and most parts of the country still pegged back into the teens. And that's how we go into Thursday and into Friday as well, with temperatures below where they should be. There'll be showers coming and going through the week. Showery-east days look like being tomorrow, Tuesday, and again probably on Friday. Having a look at the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks, we can see that temperatures are significantly below average right now and will continue to be below average for the rest of this week. The red line is the 30-year average here, and all members of the ensemble are clustered well underneath that red line. That's just about the coolest in terms of anomalies that we've had this year. I don't think we've had another period throughout 2014 that is as significantly below average as we are at the moment. Of course, we're able to offset this a little bit with the strength of the sunshine. The sun still has a lot of strength in it, although it is weakening rapidly now as it's moving down in towards the southern hemisphere. It will be along the equator on the 21st of September. It's going to be very rapidly weakening now, the strength of the sun, but it's still got enough strength in it to offset these below average temperatures. So if this was in the depths of winter being so far below average, we'd be talking about ice days. We would not be getting above freezing below so far below the 30-year average if that was say in January. But of course, with the strength of the sun, we are still more or less able to claw our way up to average on the south coast perhaps, or maybe a little bit below, but not as cold as you would think it would be, looking at how far below average we are in terms of the upper air temperatures. Nevertheless, it will be a very cool week coming up. Now, as we go through to the weekend and start of next week, temperatures do recover a little bit. We go back towards that red line, the 30-year average, but that's in association with all these precipitation spikes. So despite the fact temperatures will be lifting up over the weekend and into next week, I think it'll be turning a lot more unsettled with areas of low pressure starting to come in off the Atlantic. And then as we go out towards the start of September, this is September 1st just here, in the unreliable time frame of the model, we keep the temperatures around where we should be, around the 30-year average, but look at this, we've still got precipitation spikes coming through. So as we go through to Sunday, we've got a bit of a ridge there across the country on the GFS. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic, and that moves in as we move through in towards Bank Holiday Monday. So I think this weekend, Bank Holiday weekend, starts off okay, and then probably turns much more unsettled. The Bank Holiday Monday itself could turn wet, particularly in the north and west. And then that low pressure is really in as we go through next week, keeping it very unsettled through the week. By day 10, Thursday the 28th of August, that low pressure is right over top of the country, so it'll be a cool and unsettled end to August. If that's right, very disappointing final month of the summer, with temperatures no doubt coming out below average and rainfall possibly coming out above average in some parts of the country as well. Now, does this extend out into September? Well, let's have a look at the website weatherweb.net and the CFS forecast, what the CFS is doing for the coming month. We'll start off with the city forecast for Birmingham, and I should just say that the city temperature forecast for Birmingham, I should just say you can find a link to WeatherWeb on my links page. These are average, these are minimum and maximum temperatures, averages through the next 6 weeks. So the red peaks here are the maximums, the blue troughs are the minimums. So we can see that for the rest of August we're going to be staying pretty cool, really, temperatures significantly below where they should be. This is 20 degrees just here, and that's probably about round where we should be right at the end of August. This is September the 1st, by the way, down here, dates are along the bottom of the chart. We can see that as we get through to the first week of September, we do get one final pickup in the temperatures. We do lift them up. You would think that's in association with dry weather, but not necessarily the case. Have a look at the precipitation forecast in a moment. But it does turn significantly warmer through the first week of September. It doesn't last many days. As we get through towards the second week of the month, temperatures dip back down, dropping away, and then it stays very cool then for the rest of September, just going out into the start of October. This is the 1st of October, right over here, with temperatures down around the average, at times even a little bit below. But there is that one final warm-up being signalled there, the final burst of summer heat perhaps as through the first few days of September. But it isn't in association with particularly dry weather. Let's have a look at the precipitation forecast for the next few weeks. This is the week ending the 24th of August, and the CFS is seeing quite an unsettled week. Showers really across the country, particularly in the north, but all places at risk of some showers up to the week ending the 24th of August, a week that we're currently in. Not going to be desperately wet, but it will be unsettled at times when we bring these showery bursts through. Now, the week ending the 31st of August, the final week of August, turns very wet then across many parts of the country. Rainfall anomalies coming out wetter than average. We can see that low pressure is properly in through that final week of August. We saw it on the GFS chart actually. It does look like being very unsettled through the course of next week. As we go on to the week ending the 7th of September, remember this is the week that the CFS is seeing the pickup in the temperatures. Well, rainfall is still coming out a little bit above average there across the country. So despite that temperatures are lifting up, we're still bringing rainfall through. What could be happening there is that we're getting something of a plume. We're bringing warmer air up out of France, perhaps. I'm just speculating. There's not a great deal of evidence that's what's going on. But putting this together with the temperature forecast, I would suspect that we're bringing the air up out of France, so the temperatures are lifting, but we're probably generating low pressure thunderstorms within that flow. So despite that temperatures are picking up, it's probably turning more humid through the first week of September. We do have the risk of significant showers, maybe even thunderstorms. That would be my interpretation of what's going on there. And then the rest of September, where we saw on the temperature forecast that the rest of September is hovering around average, or in some instances a little bit below. And then I think we return the westerlies as we go through to the second week of September, so the temperatures drop down towards the 30-year average, and up to the weekend of the 14th of September we're bringing westerlies through, so it's wetter than average, particularly in the west, not as bad in the east, but all places unsettled through that week. And then going on into the latter stages of September, this is the weekend of the 21st, very unsettled, above average rainfall, particularly in the northwest, but all there unsettled. And finally going through to the end of September, well, then we do get the hint of some high pressure being set up. It's turning drier through about final week of September, but notice the position of the high pressure. It's really centred to the northeast of the country, to the north of Scotland, and going off towards Norway. So that could be pretty cool, actually. Despite that high pressure building in, we'd probably be shifting the winds into an east or northeasterly type direction. So yeah, I think that could be quite cool, actually, to end September with temperatures really dropping away, and maybe even risk of some early sort of frost going on across parts of the country. Having said that, there could be some ground frost across the Scottish Plains later on this week, but I think that would be a more definitively cool frosty period, perhaps right at the end of September. The 500 millibar height anomalies that go with these charts, this is for September, and we see that we've got the northern blocking there around Greenland, so it's seeing more high pressure really teeming over Greenland. Doesn't really show it, but I think there's almost certainly going to be a trough of low pressure underneath that blocking, so that's the reason it's generally quite unsettled. The jet stream is going in at something like that, so we're on the cool side of a jet through most of September probably, and it's relatively unsettled. This is unusual for September. As I said at the start of the video, normally September is a quiet month, a benign sort of transition from summer to autumn, but if this is right, it's going to be a more active month, I think, coming up to what we normally would see in a typical September. And then going on to October, very interestingly, it sees that blocking continuing over Greenland, trough sitting to the east, a trough of low pressure to the east over Scandinavia and to the southwest of the country. It means that it could be really quite an unsettled month, but also quite cool, with winds probably generally from a northeasterly type direction, with that blocking up there. So I think we could be looking at quite a coolish sort of start to the autumn for September and October, and the risk of a more sort of unsettled September than we would typically get. There will be drier slots in there. The warmest period could be the first week of the month, where we could get one final burst of summer warmth, but overall a pretty cool period coming up if these charts from the CFS are to be believed, and that's the caveat, of course, because longer range charts are experimental, long range models are experimental, so we can't take it desperately seriously. It's just really a signal of what could be going on, but of course we could deviate from these charts significantly. But if they're right, we're looking at a relatively cool start to the autumn and a more unsettled September than we would typically be expecting, because September, I say, is usually one of our driest, quietest months on average. So quite interesting, see how this one plays out. That's it for now. I'll be having a more detailed look at the next 8 to 10 days, taking us to the end of August tomorrow. So come back for that. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.